Good evening. You can see that it is still Easter. Easter is so wonderful that it begins on Easter Sunday and it spills over for 7 full weeks right up to the day of Pentecost. You can see we still have 2 more weeks till we get to Pentecost. This is May 31st this year, Sunday, May 31st. And we're at May 17th, so 2 full weeks till we get to Pentecost. Now, as it is still the Easter season, I thought I would tell you one of my children's stories that I tell during this Easter time. It's a story that tells one of the many accounts in the Bible about what happened either on the day that Jesus rose from the dead or in the days after it, as Jesus was with his disciples for 40 days before he ascended. And so, because it's a children's story, we adults need to get ready for it. It's going to be one of my stories where I use the little wooden figures. But we have to be ready for it. And so, let's get ready. Here are some excerpts from Isaiah 53, the prophet who told us ahead of time, many, many years before the time of Jesus. It's the prophet who told us what would happen and what Jesus explained to his disciples after he rose again. So listen carefully. Excerpts from Isaiah 53. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and familiar with suffering. He was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him. And by his wounds we are healed. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. He was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people, he was stricken. He was assigned a grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, though he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth. Though the Lord makes his life a guilt offering, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. After the suffering of his soul, he will see the light of life and be satisfied. By his knowledge, my righteous servant will justify many, and he will bear their iniquities. Therefore, I will give him a portion among the great, because he poured out his life to death and was numbered with the transgressors. For he bore the sin of many and made intercession for the transgressors. Now, I'd like to share with you a story that portrays the fulfillment of these words from the prophet Isaiah. This is the road from Jerusalem to Emmaus. Now on the day that Jesus rose again, 2 of his friends were going towards Emmaus, but they did not yet know about Jesus' resurrection, and they were sad because Jesus had died. They wanted him to be their king. Why did he die? They said. Why did Jesus have to die? And then someone whom they did not recognize came and walked with them. And they told him about their sadness. And he told them, explaining to them from the scriptures why he had to die. And their hearts burned within them as he talked, but they didn't know why. Now they came to Emmaus, and night was approaching. So they asked Jesus if he would stay with them, but they still didn't know that it was him. They sat down to supper that evening. And Jesus took the bread, he blessed it, and then he broke it and gave it to them. And then their eyes were opened, and they could see that it was Jesus. Jesus was alive. And as soon as their eyes were opened, he disappeared from their sight. But they saw him with their own eyes. And so they instantly left that place and went back to Jerusalem to tell the others the good news that they had seen the Lord. Now I wonder what sadness you carry these days. And I wonder if you could take a walk with Jesus and tell him your sadness. I wonder what you would say. And I wonder how God has been surprising you these days. I wonder how you see God's life right next to you these days. I wonder if you see God's life in another person, the life of God alive in someone else, right with you, right next to you, even at your own table. And I wonder how you can share the joy of God and God's life with others. My friends, be loved and love, because you are God's beloved.